and how my father had those challenges as well. So you see the guy that's on the couch and looks like he's telling a story, very animated, and I can see all the people are kind of crowding around him. They brought their little buffet table plates over to hear him speak. Well, that was my dad. So there he is. So he had the same condition that I do, and he loved to play backgammon, and he loved to soak up the sun, and he loved to drink Scotch whiskey, and he also, he gave me spondylometaphyseal dysplasia, but he also gave me my love of storytelling. And I think for me, the lesson that he brings in not letting his height or his disability hold him back was really important. So he started out, he was born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and he went to medical school there. And so this is him getting his diploma from medical school. And then he decided to move to the United States to do his residency. Are you familiar with this picture? Yeah, this is kind of an epic picture. It's called Saigon Execution, and the reason I'm showing it to you is because the photographer was a man by the name of Eddie Adams, and he won a Pulitzer Prize for this photo, but he also created a photo essay of little people, and my dad and my mother and my family were part of that photo essay. So here's one of the Eddie Adams pictures of my dad at the nurse's station taking notes. He got his degree, he came and did his residency, and he was a practicing psychiatrist. So he clearly didn't let things hold him back. As a psychiatrist, he always wanted to make fun of himself. He called himself the shrink. He even had Shrink 1 on a vanity license plate. And when I was looking for this photo essay online, I found some articles, and they had a quote from him. And it was, imagine if you're in a field of white flowers, and you see that one of the flowers is blue. You're going to look. And so that's all it is. That's all the reason that people stare. It's because I'm the blue flower, right? So here we are as a family. My dad not only became a psychiatrist, but he snagged this babe, my mother. She's 5'10". So clearly he did not let his height get in his way, right? I found this article that went along with the photo essay, and you can see it's called The Challenging World of Midgets and Dwarfs. And midget is, I call it the M word for little people. It doesn't feel good. It's not as bad as the N word, but it's the M word, and it doesn't feel good. And I was wondering why that was, and it reminded me of a time when I was a little girl and we had a friend come over, and I remember her whispering to me in the back seat, "Is your dad a midget?" And I just remember how the heat rose to my face and how embarrassed and how hurt I was. And I wondered, where did that come from? And so I Googled it. I found it on Wikipedia, midget in Wikipedia, only the best research for you all. Took out all the stops. And what I learned is that it became popularized by P.T. Barnum and the circus. And so he used to have little people featured as a sideshow in the circus. And I thought, well, that makes sense, why it doesn't feel good, if it's linked to being a sideshow act. But it reminded me how much words do matter. The words that we call each other and the child-first language that we use, those words really matter. So here my dad is with my mother. See how gorgeous she is. And one thing you'll notice is that in just about every photograph I have of the two of them, she's sitting down and he's standing up beside her. or he's put himself up on a higher place so that their faces can be kind of at the same level. And that's the way that they did it. You can see this picture of him as a young man in Mar del Plata in Buenos Aires, Argentina, that I wanted to point your attention to. Clearly, he built himself a sandhill to stand on so he could be at the same level. So my parents got married, and they had me. And I really was queen of the mountain to both my parents. Both of my parents really loved and cherished me my whole life. And I'm so grateful for that. And I was kind of my father's muse, I would say. This is a photograph that he took. We grew up in Florida, and we used to go to the beach and rent a cottage there every summer. And my dad used to love to take photographs, so he would wake me up early, and we'd run down there to the beach so that he could take pictures before the sun came up. And so one day we were out, and we were down at the beach, and there was this Adirondack chair blocking the view of the sunrise. And he said, "Jani, go down there and move that." So I ran down, and he snapped pictures as I was rolling the chair along. And this is one of those pictures, and he entered it into a contest, and he won second place, and he gave me $50 for being his model.